Welcome to the bold analysis. Kindly take a minute and listen to what this young lady is talking about.
Let's go.
Kenyans, aren't you tired of your money being taken advantage of by the same taxes that you're paying to your government? So recently, the Kenyan Treasury has actually asked for a supplementary budget for 88 billion Kenyan shillings. Have you heard that right? 88 billion Kenyan shillings. Now, the biggest stakeholder of this 88 billion being asked by the Treasury is State House, which is going to take 3.1 billion Kenyan shillings. And in the 3.1, 1.3, Nilea, it has not been discussed. So anyone who has that 1.3 can buy a helicopter, can buy land, can just do whatever they want, and it won't be recorded in any history book ever. Out of the 88 billion Kenyan shillings, I want you to listen carefully how your money that you're paying every single month is deducted. Office of the Deputy President is going to receive 400 million Kenyan shillings. You think tumemaliza hapo? No, we're just getting started. The second one, Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, is receiving 132 million Kenyan shillings. Bro, this is crazy. This money is sorting out salaries and it's sorting out vehicle maintenance. Vehicle maintenance, guys. Unafikiria nimemalizana? I'm just starting. The craziest thing is this. Deep breaths. There is an office of retired leaders that is being created. Guess who's there? Former President Uhuru Kenyatta is receiving 23 million Kenyan shillings. Raila, the great, is receiving 20 million Kenyan shillings. And then there's a vice president who is not said will also be receiving 20 million Kenyan shillings. Office of the retired leaders. Can you imagine the audacity of a nation that is saying we were reducing expenditure is actually creating an office of retired leaders? Hatujachoka? We're not tired? Hamjachoka for real, hamjachoka? People don't have food. Our health is not working. And then you're creating an office of retired leaders and then say that we don't have enough money? Let's think about it, Kenyans. Aren't we not awake? Tuamke tafadhali. Great, done.
That is a supplementary budget. William Ruto has ordered Mbadi to avail 88 billion for unforeseen expenditure. It is the Article 222, the supplementary estimates. That allows government to spend money, then within some stipulated time, they go to Parliament and seek an appropriation. So, and I would want to break it down. What that lady has given is a snippet. But I want to take a minute and break it down in figures. Before I do that, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos, because here we separate the figures from the facts. We separate fiction from the figures and facts. So we don't want to give you fiction here. We want to give you the facts with those figures. It is very important, and that is part of our civic education. That is the best that you can do for this country. The State House and the offices of President Ruto and his deputy Kithure Kindiki have been allocated 4.8 billion official data is showing. This is according to the supplementary budget to 2024-2025 that has been tabled before the National Assembly. The document shows that the government is seeking additional 86.18 billion increase in allocation across the three arms of government: executive, legislature, and judiciary. So let's look at this. Let's look at what goes where. It's important. Let's not just yap, oh, and it's been misused, but let's get to understand what goes where. Then we judge whether we've found our priorities right and interpret the move behind it. Set-up budget has been increased from 4.3 billion in the initial estimates to 8.1 billion in the supplementary budget under the financial year 2024-2025. The financial year starts from June to June. So by the time we announce our budget, we start a new financial year. William Ruto was allocated 4.3 billion. Now we are going to have some additional 3 point something billion to make it 8.1. Question: what has changed? What has changed? What is unforeseen circumstance in the office of the president? So to answer that question, let's see where that money goes. The bulk of the expenses are to cater for cabinet affairs, salaries, national celebrations, operations, maintenance, expenses such as medical insurance. What are cabinet affairs? That's too general. You know, in budget making, I'm not an accountant, but I once worked in, yes, I worked in an NGO world, and we were given something called per diem. Per diem ni ile pesa unapewa ukilala nje hiyo siku moja, wala unapewa ingine hivyo hivyo. So I remember what used to happen is ukirudi unasema unapeana receipt za mahali ulilala. Will be 5,000 per diem per night per day. Tulikuwa tunapewa, and you were told to be specific. Let us specificity. Accountants understand your language. What are cabinet affairs? Those who attend cabinet are CSS. They have budget in their own dockets. Maybe it's a levy. Or when people attend cabinet, they're paid an allowance, probably. Salaries. So have we increased the salaries of employees working under the office of the president? Because we are yet to see, there is no gazettement of a salary increase that has been seen in the corridors. Or we have employed more people. Why? What is the spirit? And now, national celebrations. National celebrations fall under the ministry. Do they fall under State House or under the Ministry of Interior? I normally see Interior more visible. The president only comes to attend with his team that one day. We are yet to see. And even if so, how many national celebrations will we have until between now to? There are probably 2. Unless we want to celebrate Easter, or we wanted to celebrate Valentine. Wow, I'm telling you. The budget is different from the executive office of the president, whose budget caters for operations, maintenance, expenses at Harambee House. Ruto's office has been allocated additional 651 million from 3.6 million. According to budget, 782 million has been allocated for government printing services. This one I will support, because then that translates to, I don't know, of course, I want to believe this goes into ID printing, birth certificates, good conduct. I want to believe it goes there, unless if it's not. If it is there, then that makes sense. The 1.7 billion for administration and planning, that's another opaque one. So what is in that administration and planning? So what it tells it, that's another opaque one. 500 million for counterterrorism advisory services. Security budget is normally not audited, probably. 62 million for Kenya South Sudan Advisory Services. Kenya South Sudan Advisory Services, na huku we are hosting rebel groups in Nairobi, and then we are employing people to advise us. From Ruto's office budget, 615 million will go into leadership services. Wait, what is that? Okay, what is that? 149 million for strategic and policy services. That makes sense. Policy services, because they're the people that help to probably under the office of economic policy. Wanakuanga wengi hapo. But what is this million for leadership services? Hey, I'm telling you. In Kenya Kwanza, you'll hear so many things. Kindiki's office will receive a net increase of 420 million for salaries, operations, general administration, strategic policies, and interventions. Following the anti-government protests held by June, President Ruto announced some austerity measures. I need someone to be very honest, and I need a budget expert or people who are privy to this process. I have a question. When we do our budget, like last time we had a budget of 3.4 trillion, so we were supposed to collect 2.8 from the from the revenue, local revenue, all the sources, be taxes and other forms of money that government receives. Then we were supposed to go and borrow around 700 billion. Of course, we had the finance bill. Then we said we are stopping the foreign visits, the foreign trips, we are reducing the foreign trips, austerity measures, government expenditure, so that, and of course, we also affected some of the programs that we had, so that we work within a budget. What I fail to understand is that every financial year, any sitting government will always have to float a supplementary budget. I don't know. And then we tend to think, and there is a feeling that all this is orchestrated for it to be that way, because the supplementary estimates, and let me tell you, if you've been privy to an MP, I have a former MP who is my very good friend, who tells me the supplementary budget is normally not just passed in the National Assembly that way. Hey? MPs know very well, wakati una mention hizi vitu, they know very well that there are some things that have just been put there to scoop money from exchequer. So they will look through those estimates, those items, the estimates, and they will be able to tell Treasury, okay, that look here, hii iko sawa, hii iko sawa, hii iko sawa. So it's money that is floated midway, and you will understand, you will realize that yes, the public will have a lot of question. The public raises a lot of question. But this is a place where even those opposition MPs will always support silently. There's something called Doluo Godogebor. Godogebor means, you've been, I think the best one is irrigating your trachea, irrigating people's trachea. Your trachea is esophagus, is irrigated, so that unasikia some feel good. So why do we normally do this? Because in the middle of every term, we must always have this unforeseen circumstance. We must always have budget deficits. In fact, the first thing we do is this. By the time we are estimating amount of money we ought to collect, we normally overestimate. I'm so sure, I've not seen the statements, but if you can ask KRA today, they will tell you we did not reach the target. The only simple reason is there was finance bill. But they'll tell you we've not reached the target on this. I once saw a story that housing levy funds were used to buy some treasury bonds and bills, some T-bills. And so that is an investment, and that money is now multiplying, sort of. And one question that crossed my mind was, if that money is multiplying, so your profit yake inaenda wapi? So many questions. I don't trust the increase to help serve operations, planning, and the reason why we are withdrawing 88 billion is this. They're going to fund political activities going on between Ruto and Kindiki. Kindiki is meeting delegation from different counties. And one of our subscribers I saw was doing a math in the comment section and was asking, Kevin, 2,000 participants, delegates, each one getting 10,000, that's already 20 million. And then you put with and that is just transport, and that is just a stipend for allowance. And then you have probably 2,000 for their transport. I saw another team from Isiolo, probably 2,000 for their transport. That is already money. Then these people are eating, so there are refreshments here. The people that have been given tenders to prepare some lunch for them and refreshments and all that. That's government money being spent. Only for a CS, for the deputy president to spend time in Karen talking about how Ruto is going to get the second term. It is what is needed, and you expect much of it. Even President Ruto attends these rallies. I think I saw in Kakamega when he visited a place, and he launched a transformer. He gave that woman 300 million. Not 300 million, 300,000, so that it can be used to put up a good house somewhere there. The second reason why we are unleashing this is because of we want to make state agencies have lucrative tenders and lure opposition figures in government. Let me tell you, I have very close relatives who work in government. Last time, one was working with the Ministry of Energy. No, he was in Treasury. So after the transition after the Ruto transition, he was taken to health. Not actually health. He was taken to the State Department of Devolution, falls under the office of the Deputy President. And he told me that people are lobbying to be taken to lucrative positions, like people have been in government. No, I know most of you are subscribers this day. They know what I'm talking about. You know that a State Department in the Ministry of Health has been given some many billions that they're going to spend. So because there is money, you try to maneuver your way how you can get transferred to that department. Now that is what is happening. Some of this money is going to be put in some strategic agencies so that it can lure opposition to government. What to fuata pesa. And that is a very big strategy that is being put. That is why this is being done. The other issue, I think Ruto is going to launch his 2027 campaigns this year. Yes, he's going to launch 2027 campaigns. I don't know that it will be funding party activities or buying people to join the ruling party or blah, blah. But there is some form of campaigns that is going to upscale. He's going to scale up his campaigns. And that is what this money is meant to be. What is so disappointing about all this is, as we put money in research, private hospitals are owed 30.2 billion. They issued a statement saying they're not going to treat teachers and policemen because they have not been paid. Government did a transition from NHIF to SHA. SHA has declined to inherit the pending bills from NHIF. Who is to blame? Look at that quagmire. Now that is where we are. Questions have been lingering about before even this transition. Did NHIF have any money? All of a sudden, NHIF has become a total orphan without any shilling. So at that time of transition, as we're talking about that, schools in Turkana, the principals in Turkana have issued a notice saying They will stop operations next week if capitation is not sent. I am a board member in our secondary school. In another school, not ours, but another school, somewhere in Kisumu. And I was shocked. The way that school is run, it's run like, ni kubembeleza tu. Yani, there is no money. And that list can continue and can continue. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay. That is what you chose. But si kuzuri. Thank you.